Every year, over 20 million people descend on the holy city of Karbala in Iraq in what is officially the world's largest gathering. Here, they pledge allegiance to and commemorate the tragic events that happened to the family of the Holy Prophet Muhammad over 1400 years ago. During this period, as I discovered, you do see the best of humanity. Welcome to Arbaeen 2024. So, why do millions of Shi'a Muslims do this every single year? Let's go right back to the origins. In 680 AD, Imam Hussain, the grandson of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, refused to pledge allegiance to the tyrannical caliph of the time, Yazid. In response, Yazid sent an army of 30,000 men to massacre Imam Hussain, his loyal following of 72, and then take his women and children captive. On day 40 after these tragic events, 40 is called Arbaeen in Arabic, a companion of the Holy Prophet called Jabir was the first to make the pilgrimage to Imam Hussein's burial site at the battlefield in Karbala. Millions of Shias now do this every single year. Pilgrims can start their walk from as far as cities like Basra or even Iran, but for the majority of pilgrims, they start in the holy city of Najaf, where Imam Hussein's father, Imam Ali, is buried. And on the 19th of August this year, it's also where I made my first steps in this holy journey.
This is where it all starts, the holy city Najaf in Iraq, where millions of people behind me, men, women and children, are preparing to make the Arbaeen pilgrimage to Karbala. Last year there was 22 million individuals who did this pilgrimage. This year it's estimated 25 million. Temperatures here are about 45 to 50 degrees in the day, but that's not deterring anyone. Security threats, again, not deterring anyone. People keep coming. This is the resting place behind me of Imam Ali. He's the first caliph considered by Shi'a Muslims and the fourth considered by Muslims, Sunni Muslims. But overall, his message is revered in Islam, and of course he's the father of Imam Hussain, who we're going to visit in Karbala. Here we are at the very start of the walk from Najaf to Karbala. It promises to be an 80-kilometer journey full of generosity and compassion. There's about 25 million people going to take this journey this year. We're right at the start. Tonight we're going to walk about 25k and do the journey over the course of 3 days. Here we go.
I'm not wrong when I say the hadith actually says the minute you make that intention, the minute you leave your house, wherever it may be, and you go towards the airport and you take those steps, you get the thawab for every step you take. You get the same thawab as going for a hajj and for a umrah.
Coming to the end of day one, an update, walk through the night, about 18 miles. But the most phenomenal thing about this is, if you have a look over there, this is an 80-kilometer stretch of road. And in a good way, there's absolutely no space to breathe. So you may think they've overinflated the numbers, but if you actually come here and see it for yourself, I mean, you haven't seen anything like it. You've seen countries from Belarus to Georgia to Turkey, people from absolutely everywhere, all ages, all genders, all in one place, on the road, on the journey towards God.
Now, one extremely interesting element this year was the mass politicization of this march. So this march is political anyway. Of course, it was heavily suppressed under Saddam Hussein, and so Iraqis in particular come out in defiance to march from Najaf to Karbala. And equally, when ISIS rose in the mid-2010s, they often threatened Shia Muslims. And again, this is a message of defiance to IS and other terrorists. But this year in particular, it's the first year that this pilgrimage has happened since the October invasion of Gaza. Everywhere I went, I kid you not, there was Palestinian flags waving, there was a comparison of the history of Karbala to the situation in Palestine as well. While generally the Iraqi government has not taken a very active role in the conflict, unlike the surrounding countries, the people have certainly chosen a side.
So you may be wondering, in this backpack, is there food for all 3 or 4 days of the walk? The answer is, you don't need a single thing. You look around, mokis, across this walk, there's over 1,400 of them, all offering food, drink, massages, places to sleep, absolutely free of charge. The most common thing you'll see is water and coffee given out. There's everything. There's famous kebab doner stand. There's food from absolutely all over the world. Now there is a couple of caveats to this. Usually our Western stomachs can't handle the tap water here, which means any homemade juices or salad is off the menu. But everything else is absolutely fair game. So all I've got, and what most Western people have got, maybe a couple of protein bars to keep you going. But otherwise, this honestly is one of the biggest displays of charity and generosity, because whatever your background, you're going to be given something by someone. And the special thing about this is, if you look at other countries, whether it's the Middle East or anywhere, you go to the souks, you go to the markets, people are begging you, literally forcing you to go to their stores to buy something. In the Arbaeen Walk, people are begging you to take their food and drink that they probably saved up a lot of the year to produce. They're begging you to take it for free, because this walk produces such a spirit of service and charity that it's like I've said in other parts of the world, it's absolutely unique. And I mean, look at this kid right here. He's going to be begging you. He's going to be absolutely begging you. And I can't drink his tap water, but it's fantastic. Shukran Sadiq. He's absolutely begging you. This is a kid, I don't know, he's not more than 6-7 years old. But he will be absolutely begging you to take. They will all be begging you to take. Shukran Sadiq. They will all be begging you to take their food and drink. It's absolutely fantastic to see. And I don't think you see this anywhere else in the world.
Here's an example of one of over 1,400 mokibs set up entirely out of service, free of charge. They're pretty basic. You get a mattress, a pillow, but again, everyone is welcome. Most people take around 3 days to do this walk. That means 2 stays in a mokib. I stayed in one run by a British charity and one by the Omanis. Now, before I went, a lot of people understandably asked about safety. This, of course, is a war-torn country where, in particular, Shi'a Muslims are targeted by extremists. But it seems the military and police put a lot of effort into protecting this march. In fact, so much so that me and my cameraman were apprehended on the side of the road, made to give up our bags for search, all for the crime of looking suspicious. But of course, that's a rather reassuring thing. Now, protecting 50 miles of road with millions of pilgrims on it is no easy feat, but they've done it very successfully.
Officially near Karbala, near the shrines of both Imam Hussain and his brother uphold Abbas. This is the end point. This is the destination. This is where the sore feet and the sore trapezius muscles have come. And there will still be millions of people coming in the next few days. Tens of millions have already arrived to pay their respects and send their greetings to these two figures.
We arrive in Karbala 3 days before the day of Arbaeen. Supplications and prayers precede visits, numerous visits, to the tombs of both Imam Hussain and his brother who died in battle, Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Hereby signals the end of the Arbaeen Walk and our Arbaeen journey. It definitely is a journey like no other. Many things are remarkable. How a city that usually hosts 700,000 people accommodates 21.8 million in 2024. How a country that has been besieged by war in the last few decades manages to hold the world's largest peaceful gathering. how millions and millions, after 1400 years after the original tragedy, still come to pay tribute. This, for me, is the miracle of Arbaeen.